Hello and welcome to the Dream Team Professor podcast. My name is Scott, and in this episode, we're looking at how to play the Dream Team Euro 2024 fantasy football game. Now, in this video, it's going to be the real basics. We're going to show you the basic setup and how to get started playing the game. So if you've never played Dream Team before, or if you've never played one of the Dream Team international tournament modes before, this is the video for you. Watch from the beginning and we'll show you how to get started. If you've played Dream Team before or one of the international tournament modes, I will leave chapters so you can skip around to certain sections. We're going to go through the basic setup. We're going to go through rules, point scoring, boosters, captaincy, transfers, match days, and deadlines. So like I said, timestamps are below, but if you are new, watch from the very beginning and I'll show you how to get set up. Now, you can go to dreamteamfc.com to play the game on desktop, or you can download the app on Apple or Android, and it's pretty much the same, but I'm doing this on desktop. So when you first get onto the website, there'll be a tab along the top, Euros Fantasy. Click on that and you'll be prompted to go onto this fantasy football guide. So welcome to Euros Fantasy Game. View the quick guide for an overview of the rules and features. We'll show you through the quick guide anyway. It really is quick. So handpick a team of 11 with an initial budget of 50 million. The formation will change dynamically depending on the players you choose. Make up to 3 transfers between group stage ties, then reset, and up to 5 each knockout round. Don't worry, I'll go into this a bit deeper later on in the episode. Boosters, we'll come on to that later on as well. No need right yet. And then scoring points, get familiar with the point scoring and bonus system. I'll come on to that as well. This beginning bit is just to get yourself started and get a team set up. So it really is a basic guide now. Just click play now and we'll get started. So this bit, you really can speed through this bit quickly. So basically, they're going to take you step by step to set up a team, and then they're going to prompt you to sign up if you're not already signed up to the Dream Team app or website, or if you've already got an account, it will prompt you to log in. But all of these steps you can go in and change a little bit later. So pick a formation, just click 4-4-2. It doesn't matter. You can go in and change it later. Once you've chose your formation, you can then pick a team. Don't spend a lot of time messing about with your team on this screen, because you can go and change it later. So choose 11 players with a 50 mil budget. By all means, have a little look around, but I would just autofill at this point, and I'll show you how to do it later. So click autofill, scroll down, and then you can confirm your team here. Then the next bit it'll get you to do, the same applies. It'll want you to pick a captain. Your captain will score you double points, but it doesn't matter. You can go in and change your captaincy later. It's just taking you through the motions at this point, and I'll go deeper later in the episode. So just pick any old captain at the minute. Pick Sane, scroll down, confirm your captain. And then it'll ask you to pick a vice captain. If you've played fantasy football games before, if your captain doesn't play, your vice captain gets the armband. Same, pick your vice captain. So I'm going to choose Bellingham, vice captain, and click confirm again. So you can go in and change these later. This is just the initial setup. Enter your team name. All I would say at this point, it really doesn't matter. You can go in and change your team name later. All I would say is keep it clean, because there's somewhere in the rules that basically if you've got an abusive or offensive name, you can get disqualified from winning the big cash prize, which is £25,000 if you do win the whole thing. But team name, I tried to just tick anything. I tried to just go XXX, confirm team name. It must not contain profanities. So like I said, keep it clean. I'll just put Dream Team Professor to start off with. Don't you put that, that's me. Confirm your team. And then it will prompt you to sign in and sign up. So this is why I was telling you to just speed through this bit, because all it is leading you up to this part. So set up your username, password, and sign up or sign in if you've already got it. But we'll now move on to the next step. Right, so once you've signed in or signed up and that basic bit is out of the way, here's one I made earlier. The team might look a little bit different, but it doesn't matter. So we can actually now start to mess around with our team and get to learning how to play. So the reason why I said to skip ahead is because you can literally make any changes up until the deadline. You get unlimited changes. You can mess around with your captain all the way up to this match day 1 deadline in the top right corner, the 14th of June at 7 p.m. So we're about a month out when I'm recording this video anyway. So we've got plenty of time. But just the basics on how it works. So build a team of 11 players. You get a budget of 50 million and player values won't change. Now, I'll mention it later in the video, but we will get given an extra 3 million in the knockout rounds. But for now, we're just going to start off with the 50 million. So you can click the cross on any of your current players and remove them. And talking of formations a little bit earlier, the reason why I said that is because it's completely flexible. You didn't have to worry about selecting a formation. There's nowhere on this screen. It fooled a lot of people when we started playing Dream Team the last time for the first time this season. There is nowhere here that you can select your formation. Your formation is flexible. So you choose a goalkeeper, for example, stick him in goal, and now you've got a back four. You're in a 4-4-2, but if you just choose any old three there, and then, okay, this had a fourth, so you got four at the back. But if you wanted to have three at the back, you just take a defender out, choose a midfielder, and then, I don't know, if you want a 3-4-3, you just choose your four midfielders. And then you choose your three strikers. I've used all my budget here. There we go. 3-4-3. If you want to change this and you wanted to go four at the back, you want to go back to a 4-4-2, you obviously just take out a striker and you put a defender back in the mix. So it's completely fluid. You can move through the formations and then you can click confirm team and you'll keep that shape. Obviously, this isn't going to be my team, but I just wanted to show you the formations are fluid. You can mess around with it. You can obviously search your players along here. So you can filter by all. You will look at all the players. Obviously, swap the price up and down. If you just want to look at goalkeepers, you select there. You can look at goalkeepers and defenders by selecting two. This is really how you have a little look around it. You can filter by price or percentage owned. If you want to play the ownership game, look for differentials down the bottom, or if you want to see who's the most highly owned, you've got Mbappe there at 53.5. These squads, we're recording this really early, so the squads haven't been announced for everyone. They will update the squads as we go, as we get more squads announced. So point scoring, you score points over 7 match days. Now, match days isn't actually days. It makes you think that, I don't know, if you play match days in Sky, it moves along on a daily basis. But match days are more commonly known really as a game week. Think of it as a game week or a round of fixtures. So, for example, match day 1 is every team's first fixture. We're going to go over this again a little bit later, but it's not on a daily basis. It is a round of fixtures. So every team's first match in Euro 2024 will count as match day 1. First round all the way through to the final. So first round, second round, third round, round of 16, quarterfinal, semi-final, and through to the final. But I'll take you through all of the point scoring and the match days on the next slide. The manager with the most points at the end of Euro 2024 will win the grand prize of £25,000. Second place is going to win £5,000. Third to 22nd all win 1k each, which I think is pretty good for a free-to-play game. Before we go on to point scoring, one last thing I wanted to show you. So like I showed you here, you can take players out, put players in, add them back here, choose a goalkeeper. Pretty familiar to most fantasy games. Obviously, budget plays a big part of it. Captaincy, we did mess around with the captaincy to start with, but you can literally just choose a player, make them your captain, choose another player, make them your vice captain, and just make sure that you do confirm your team. And keep an eye in this top right corner. So that is the deadline. Match day 1 deadline, 14th of June, 7 p.m. You can mess about with your players, your captaincy as much as you like up until that deadline. Once that deadline passes, your team, your captains are all locked in up until the next round of fixtures. So mess around with it as much as you like to start with before that deadline. I'm going to show you boosters quickly. I'm going to do a deep dive into how each of the boosters work, but you get boosters which sort of help you get additional points each game week. You get 3 boosters to use. You can use each of them only once during Euros. I'm not going to go into what they all are right now. I'll do that later. But I just wanted to show you, because this was another question that we had at the start of the normal Dream Team season. With your boosters, you can activate it. So 12th man, you choose a 12th man to add to your squad. I'll just add Harry Kane here. You can deactivate it by clicking here, or confirm it by clicking here. If you confirm it, I just wanted to show you, if you do confirm that you are playing one of your boosters, you can go in, click the cross, and deactivate it again. You'll get another prompt. Yes, deactivate. It's deactivated. I just wanted to show you can do that with your boosters. Don't be worried that if you play it, you can't cancel it. You can cancel it as much as you like by deactivating it, as long as you deactivate before the deadline. If the deadline passes and you've got it activated, it will play. I just wanted to show you, because a lot of people do ask that question as well, how to deactivate it, or can you deactivate it? So I've just shown you through how you navigate the dashboard, how you can mess about with your team, make changes, do your captaincy, your boosters, for example. Just a little look at how you can navigate your team. But now to the important part, point scoring. So point scoring, your players will all score points for goals scored. You'll get 6 points. Now, if you play the normal Dream Team game, which is currently still running, you got 5 points for a goal scored. This has been upped to 6 points for a goal scored. Assists will get you 3 points. On the old Dream Team game, or the current one that's running, it was 2 points. It's been upped by a point to 3. So goals and assists have been boosted by 1 extra point. Shots on target get you 1 point. Big chances created get you a point. Tackles, you get 1 point per 2 tackles. Appearances, this is quite familiar to other fantasy games. You get 1 point for playing up to 60 minutes and 1 point for playing over 60 minutes. Yellow cards will be -1. Red cards, -3. A penalty miss, -3 points. And an own goal is -2. Goalkeepers will get 3 points for a penalty save, or they'll get 1 point per 2 saves that they make. Defenders and goalkeepers will get 5 points for keeping a clean sheet, but they must have played at least 60 minutes in the game to get the clean sheet. If they don't play 60 minutes in the game, they will not get the clean sheet. Also, you can bank the clean sheet. So if your player starts the game, for example, is getting the clean sheet, but then they're substituted in the 65th minute or any minute over 60, they will keep the clean sheet, even if the team concedes. You'll have a minus point for 2 goals conceded, and then for each goal over 2 points, you'll have another minus point. Everything else remains the same to the previous Dream Team game. It's just the goal scored, where you now get 6 points instead of 5, and the assists, where you get 3 points instead of 2. Except for bonus points. There's been a change when it comes to the bonus points. So the bonus point system and PPM. So PPM stands for Player Performance Marks. How it works, players can earn 1, 3, or 5 additional points by accruing PPM, so player performance marks, during matches. So just in-game actions will get you PPM, and the PPM will add up to getting you bonus points. So in the top left corner here, we've got some tiers. So tier 1, if you score between 5 and 7 PPM, if your player scores that, they will get an additional bonus point. If they get 8 to 11 player performance marks, they will have 3 bonus points. If they get 12 plus, they will receive 5 bonus points on top of the points that we've just got in the previous slide. So you can get bonus points on top of the normal points, which is quite good for some midfielders, defenders. It brings more players into the game. So, for example, Bruno Guimaraes has been really, really good at scoring bonus points in the normal Dream Team game, even though he's not a player that typically is very attacking, for example. It brings more players into the game. I'll show you an example of someone or how the player performance marks and bonus points work. So how do you get PPM? What do you get PPM points or player performance marks rewarded for. So successful dribbles will get you 1 ppm, accurate crosses will get you 1, an offside will get you a -1. If your pass completion is between 70 and 80%, you'll get 1. If it's between 80 and 90%, you'll get 2. Or if it's between or over 90%, you'll get 3 player performance marks. An interception gets you a player performance mark. A block gets you 1. A goal outside of the penalty area gets you 1. A foul 1 gets you 1. A foul conceded will lose you a ppm. Or if you make an error leading to a goal, you're -2 player performance marks. Sounds really complicated. It's not really. When we first started Dream Team, this got first brought in at the start of last season. It felt pretty complicated, but I think we all pretty much picked it up quite quickly. And I'll show you some ways that you can sort of research this for planning your team. One new feature of this Euros game is that goalkeepers can now score bonus points, which they couldn't in the previous game. Goalkeepers have been pretty much the lowest scoring position on the pitch. Now, with this, it gives them the opportunity to score more points than they would have before. I'm still a bit skeptical that it's really going to make that much difference, but they get a ppm for a successful claim, 1 for a successful punch, and 1 for a keeper sweep. And they can also get it for their pass completion rate, but they must meet the minimum amount of passes, the same as everyone, which is 25 passes. So you must do 25 passes at least to be able to get your marks for pass completion. Now, during games or after games, you can go into the match center, which I'll show you a little bit later as well. But you can go into the match center and it will show you how many points each player is scoring. Or you can also toggle it to see how many player performance marks that player is getting. So normally, if you look at points, you'll see how many bonus they've got. But if you want to break it down into how many ppm they've got, there's a little toggle option, which I'll show you a little bit later. Now, to give you a better example of how the bonus points work and how ppm works, I'm going to use an example of Michael Elise for Crystal Palace, a player that scored a lot of bonus points this season on the normal Dream Team game. Unfortunately, doesn't seem to have been called up by France in their recent squad, so he won't be getting bonus points for France at the Euros. But he's a good example to use when looking at normal points and the bonus points. So on the right-hand side, he's played 88 minutes, so he's got 2 points for the appearances. He scored a goal, he's got 5 points. He got an assist, got 2 points. Shot on target got him 1 point, and 2 tackles got him 1 point. So those points are normal points that we saw in this point scoring tab. So he would have scored points for all of those things. Now, just below that, he got 3 bonus points added on as well. And he got those 3 bonus points because he got 9 player performance marks. Now, those 9 player performance marks were broken down into, and you can see this on the match center after games, 84 pass completion rate, which got him 2 player performance marks, 1 successful cross, 1 successful dribble. He won 3 fouls during the game. He had 1 interception, and he scored a goal from outside of the area. I thought this was a good example to use. So he got his normal points, and then he got the 3 bonus points added on top of it to bring you to 14 points in total in that 3-1 win against Wolves. So just an example of how it works and how it shows up after they do it. If you want a good idea of how to research which players are good for bonus points, you can look at typical stats sites like FOTMob, SofaScore, or Who Scored. You can search these websites and you can look at all sorts. Obviously, goals, assists, shots on target, tackles are on there. You can also break it down and look who's got successful crosses, successful dribbles, and you can search for it that way. Or an easier way to do it is if you've played the normal Dream Team game, you can have a look this season to see who's performed well in the Premier League. On Dream Team, you can look at all of the stats. Also, once the Euros game has fully started and we've seen the first match, there's a stats center on the Euros game, and you'll be able to break down all of these bits, which I'll show you again later. But you'll be able to look at all of these stats while the tournament's running. So if you start to discover that there's a certain player that puts in a load of crosses or wins a load of fouls or has a lot of successful dribbles, you'll be able to see that from the stats center on Dream Team. Another way which is a way that I really like to use, is by looking on ffstuff.co.uk. It's a free website, and they're going to have all of the data from Euro 2024 as well. They have a match center that breaks it down really nicely so you can see who performs well on Dream Team. So do check out ffstuff.co.uk. Now, on to match days. Now, this is an important bit. I feel like it's been an unnecessarily complicated bit just by the word match days. So I'm going to reiterate it again. Match day isn't actually a day. It's a scoring period. So the fantasy game is split into a number of scoring periods known as match days, which is the equivalent of a game week in the normal Dream Team fantasy football game. Your team score is calculated by combining the points gained by your selected players during that match day period, a maximum of one fixture per player. So there's no double game weeks, is what they're saying. The 7 match days and start times are, now I'm not going to read them all out, but match day 1 is the first group stage. So within match day 1, there will be 12 matches when everyone plays their first group game. But the start of match day 1 is 1 hour before the first kickoff of the match day. So they've got it here, 7 o'clock, Friday, 14th of June. You have to have your team ready and set up before 1 hour before that first kickoff. As soon as that deadline passes, you move on to match day 2. I'm not going to go through them all, but match day 2 is the second round of group stages. Match day 3 is the third round of group stages. So 12 matches in each of those rounds. Match day 4 is the round of 16, which will be 8 matches. Match day 5 is the quarterfinals. Match day 6 is the semi-final. And match day 7 is Euro 2024 final. So 7 match days. They're not days, they're game weeks or groups or rounds, whatever you want to call them, but they're definitely not days. You can view all of these in the match center. I'll show you that as well later, but there's a tab for match center. You click it, it will show you what matches are taking place within each match day. You can see now match day 1, 2, and 3, but obviously the knockout rounds haven't been decided yet. Transfer allowances and the deadlines. So like I said, match day starts 1 hour before the first kickoff of that round, stage, match day, whatever you want to call it. So match day 1, first group stage, 12 matches, 7 o'clock is the deadline, Friday, 14th of June. So the deadline will be 1 hour before the first kickoff of the first round of fixtures, which is Germany versus Scotland, for example. So if you go on the match center, the first game of Euro 2024, the cutoff point, the deadline is 1 hour before that kickoff. So you might get team leaks, you might not. It's not guaranteed, but they do seem to usually come out a little bit earlier for these tournaments. So Germany at home, obviously, to Scotland in that 8 p.m. kickoff. But the deadline won't be 8 p.m. It'll be 7 p.m. So when it comes to transfer allowances, we will have unlimited transfers before the first kickoff of the first game. So you can mess around with your team as much as you like, changing your captains, changing your players. You can do whatever you like. You can activate your boosters or deactivate your boosters up until 7 p.m. on the first or an hour before the first kickoff of Euro 2024. As soon as that deadline passes, we're on to the following week. So your team will lock in at the deadline, and then you can start making changes. You can reverse your changes, but you'll only have 3 transfers. You have 3 transfers to use in the group stage games. So once match day 1 has started, you'll have 3 transfers to change your team ahead of that match day 2, which is the second round of fixtures. The same then applies once that first kickoff of match day 2 happens, 1 o'clock, Wednesday, the 19th of June. You'll then be on to match day 3. You'll be preparing your team for match day 3, and you'll have 3 transfers to do so with. After match day 3 has kicked off, so all of the group games or the first fixture for match day 3 has already started, you'll then be on to the knockout rounds. Now, we get unlimited transfers ahead of the knockout rounds. So you could essentially call it a wild card, or if you played Sky, it's an overhaul, but you can completely change your team after the group stage games ahead of the round of 16. So it'll be like basically now you'll be able to mess up your team as much as you like, make as many changes as you like, fully reevaluate things. You know that teams have been eliminated. You'll have an idea of what teams you'd prefer to target for the knockouts. You can completely change your team. So unlimited transfers ahead of that match day 4 deadline round of 16. Then after that, you'll have 5 transfers for each of the knockout rounds. But for match day 5, ahead of match day 5, once we've used that wild card ahead of match day 4, for match day 5, you get given an extra £3 million budget. Now, I'm guessing that's because they're expecting that the bigger teams are going to be in the knockout rounds. They're more expensive, so it helps us choose the more expensive players. I think it's a bit too much of a help, to be honest. I think it's quite cool to try and figure it out with the cheaper players. But hey, they've given us an extra £3 million. You get 5 transfers between each of these rounds. So ahead of match day 5, the quarterfinals, we would have had 5 transfers. Ahead of the semi-finals, you'll have 5 transfers. And then ahead of the final in match day 7, you'll have 5 transfers. Now, one thing that's important to know is that you cannot roll over transfers. So on the current Dream Team game, if you didn't use any transfers, you could roll some over. Or if you play other games like FPL, you can roll a transfer. Not possible in this one. If you don't use your transfers for a round, you lose them. So it'll be straight on to the next lot. You can't roll transfers. Can lock in your transfers and undo them up to the deadline, but there is no rolling over transfers. So that is how the transfers work. I won't be doing transfer strategies or any plans in this video. I'll do a separate video with sort of some strategies or ideas on how we might want to use these transfers. But for now, we're just learning how to play the game. A brief look at captains and vice captains. I think most people will be familiar with this, but if you haven't played any sort of fantasy football before, each match day you will select a captain and the captain will earn you double points. Now, again, once you've selected this captain and the deadline passes, that is your captain for the entire week. There is no changing it until the next round of fixtures. So the captain will earn you double points. You'll select a vice captain, which is a new feature. We didn't have that in Dream Team this season. So if your captain doesn't play, doesn't get on, your vice captain will become your captain and score you double points. If you've got a vice captain and your captain plays, your vice captain is just a normal player. They don't score any differently. Negative scores are also doubled. So obviously, if you get double points for your captain, but you get double negative points as well. So for example, if your player gets sent off straight away and gets a -3, that will become a -6. Negative points are doubled as well. So cards, own goals will count double too. But overall, you just want to captain the player that you think is going to score you the most points in a match day. Now on to boosters, which is probably going to be the most complicated part if you've not played Dream Team before. Maybe the bonus might be, but boosters, if you played Dream Team this season, the 12th man and max captain, you'll be familiar with, but we'll go over them anyway. So you can use your boosters. You can only use each of your boosters once during the Euros. You can only use 1 booster per match day, so you can't play 2 in 1 match day. You can only play 1 booster at a time. The 12th man, you select an additional player to earn points for your team. So you can bring in any player, any price, but you can't captain them, and they'll be in your team for 1 match day only. One thing to sort of consider with this 12th man is with these new deadlines and match days, we pretty much won't see any of the team lineups. You might get leaks. You may, for the first kickoff, see lineups. But the whole idea of the deadline being 1 hour before the first kickoff is that you don't see lineup. So with your 12th man, this isn't going to be I'm not going to go into strategy too much, but with your 12th man, you want to choose a player that you're almost certain is going to start. With max captain, your highest scoring player will be made captain, earning you double points. Now, I want to go over this one because on my usual Dream Team videos, a lot of people have been confused throughout the season. They've commented on videos and stuff. Max captain is pretty much the same as your normal captain. It's not like FPL where you get a triple captain. You're not getting any more points than what a normal captain would get. It's just double points. However, the armband will move around your team. So if you put the armband on Bellingham, for example, and play the max captain, it'll ask you to select a captain anyway, even if you do select a max captain. But if you put the armband on Bellingham, for example, and he scores you 5 points, and 5 points is the most anyone scored in your team, he will get his points doubled to 10. However, if you have another player that plays later and they score 10 points, the armband will move to that player and their 10 points will double to 20 points. It will just be fluid. It will move around to the highest scoring player in your team. It's almost an insurance policy. You're not really picking a captain. It will just give double points to whoever scores the most amount of points in your team. I just wanted to clarify that because max captain and saying that your captain earns double points, your captain earns the same amount of points as a normal captain would earn. I just didn't want it to confuse you. Goal bonus. Now, this is a new one. We had Park the Bus as our third booster in the normal Dream Team season, but it has been replaced in this game mode by goal bonus. So goals go from being 6 points to 10 points. So normal goals would have been 6 points, but they are now 10 points for the week that you play your goal bonus. Every goal your players score will be worth 10 points, regardless of what position they play in. Ideally, I mean, I'm not going to go into strategy, but ideally for this week that you play goal bonus, you're going to want to try and pack your team out with goal scorers. Now, that will typically be by putting 3 strikers in, 4 midfielders, or playing 5 midfielders, 2 strikers, unless you really do think you've got a goal machine in defence. But ideally, you want to have less defenders with 3 defenders and pack out your team with players that you think will score you the most amount of goals, because that will get you more points. You still do get 10 points for a goal for your captain, but it will be doubled. So if your captain scores that week, they don't score 6, they would now score 10, but that 10 would be doubled to 20 for your captain. I won't go deep on boosters. I won't tell you when to use them yet. I'll have a booster strategy video coming out later on. It could already be out by the time you watch this video. If it is, there'll be a link in the description below for it. Or if you go over to my channel, you'll see if there's more Euro 2024 videos out. But currently, this is just the basics. I'll go into strategy, players, all of that stuff a little bit later. I mentioned that there should be other videos coming out with more strategy. I'll look to do top players to target for each match day. I'm going to be at the beginning or before Euro 2024 kicks off. I'm going to do the top goalkeepers, the top defenders, midfielders, strikers to target before the tournament starts. I'm also going to be doing regular daily content, really, really short ones, maybe lives, just to look at matches that have been played, try and highlight people, put them on a watch list for future game weeks. Really, I am going to smash out the Euro 2024 content over the summer because I love it. I really do like the Euros, the World Cups, all that sort of stuff, all the tournament football. If you do want to follow along with the videos, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. You'll get kept up to date with all my videos when they go out. I'll also be having a community league. It's something I've been asked for. Do you know what? I've never even set up a Dream Team mini league before, as crazy as that sounds. I join loads of people's mini leagues, but I've never set up a mini league myself. I've set up the Dream Team Professor Community League. So if you do want to join a community league, it'll be free to join. Unfortunately, there's no prizes. The first place prize wins bragging rights in the comments below. So if you're winning, give it some in the comments. If you're losing, yeah, maybe keep quiet. But you can join the Dream Team Professor Community League using the league code KMJ820Q0. So KMJ820Q0, or there'll be a link in the description below to join the community league. But no prizes, free entry, all for fun, all for banter. Link in the description below to join that. If you're a bit more competitive and you don't just play for fun, if you're looking for a mini league, a cash entry league with big prizes, do check out Dream Team Tonic on Twitter, or the Dream Team Tonic podcast on YouTube. So myself, Ben, and Tony do regular content on the Dream Team Tonic, but we'll be having mini leagues as well as our Euro 2024 content. So hit us up on YouTube or Twitter, and we'll have details for our cash league if you're interested in joining that. But do give them a follow on YouTube as well, because we'll be doing content over on the Dream Team Tonic channel too. We also have a Patreon and Discord community. I think we're about 90 odd members strong at the minute of dedicated Dream Team managers. We talk about Dream Team on a daily basis, and we've already got our Dream Team Euro 2024 tab set up where we've already been planning which players we like the look of, how to play. Everyone's sharing tips and advice for each other. So if you're interested in joining the Discord community, the Patreon community, I'll put a link in the description below for that as well. We've looked up your team and how the points work, boosters, all that sort of stuff, the deadlines, match days. But I just wanted to quickly show you your way around the dashboard again real quick. So this is currently my team. It's auto selected, so this isn't really my team. But we'll go to, if you want to go to the leaderboard, this is where you can see if you're in with a chance of winning the 25 grand or the 5 grand if you're second, or any of the £1,000 prizes. Also, if you want to see if you're sort of winning on a certain match day, you can click on this overall part here, and it will go sort by match day. If you want to look at leagues, or like I said, you wanted to join the league I've got set up, you go to leagues, and then you can look at the overalls. It will tell you where you are overall, or in England, or whichever country you're in, whichever team you support. So mine is Arsenal, if you couldn't tell already. And you can enter your leagues here. So you'd put my mini league pin in this here. Link will be in the description below, and I'll put the code in the description below as well. I mentioned the match center when I was talking about bonus points and checking how many points everyone's earned. You can click the match center here. Obviously there's nothing here at the moment, but it will show you the fixtures. So obviously you can see here, match day 1, Germany will play Scotland at 8 p.m. And like we said, the deadline was at 7 p.m, 1 hour before the first kickoff. If you want to double check the deadline, you go to my team, and it'll be in this top right corner, 14th of June, 7 p.m. Match center, again, match day 2. You can look at which fixtures take place in match day 2. So everyone's playing their second game. Match day 3, everyone's playing their third game. And then when it comes to the knockout rounds, there's nothing currently written down because the rounds aren't decided yet. But if you want to check it out there, or if you just wanted to have a look and you thought, oh, do you know what? I think Germany, the hosts, have a good chance of winning. You want to see what matches Germany are playing, you can go to the drop down, click Germany, and you'll see their fixtures: Scotland, Hungary, Switzerland. So that's just another thing you can look at. Stat center, there's not really anything set up at this point, but once the games all start, you'll be able to filter by position, filter by country, look at price ranges, and this is the important part, the categories. So this will show you the basics, the prices of people, the percentage owned. We'll show you the match day points once they've played, average points, last 3 average, bonus points, and total points. But if you were interested in the bonus points, drop this down and look at performance. Drop it down to bonus, and it will show you, like I said, the player performance marks. It will show you who's got the most dribbles. You can sort by that. Who's got the most crosses, offsides, which you're not going to really look at, but pass completion, interceptions, blocks. But this total PPM will give you a good idea of who's scoring well for bonus. Or if you go performance, you can have a look at the other way of scoring points. So goals, assists, shots on target, big chances created, tackles, clean sheets, saves, all of the other ways of scoring points. Or if you just go to general, you can look at bonus points or total points. Just thought that's a little complete look at the whole stat center if you are completely new to the Dream Team game. So that is it. That's my complete guide on how to play the Dream Team Euro 2024 fantasy football game. If there's anything I've missed, anything you can think of, if you've got any questions, do leave a comment below. I always get back to my comments. So leave a comment below and I'll try my best to get back to you with the right answer. If you want to get kept up to date with all the Dream Team content that I'm going to be putting out for the Euros, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I will be breaking down a bit more in depth now that we know how to play the game. top players, how to use your boosters, the best transfer strategies, all that sort of stuff, as well as pretty much just documenting who's doing what throughout the tournament on these daily live streams. You'll be able to ask me questions and stuff on those as well. So do follow along. I hope this has been helpful for you. And do check out the Dream Team Tonic podcast as well. And I hope you have a good Euros. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.